Well, hello everybody, welcome back. This is day 28 here of the CCFS Counsel and Encouragement Expedition podcast series. We are almost through, just a few more days left here in the month of May, where every day in May I'm doing a daily 2 to 3 minute word of counsel and encouragement for your edification and building up of the faith. And I'm Edward Ruiz. I want to talk about suffering today, and the reference for our discussion today is this: suffering clarifies complaint. Suffering clarifies complaint, and that's almost a taboo word in many circles within Christendom, to complain. But I want to reference a couple of verses for us today in Psalm 142, where in fact I think that there is a such thing as godly complaint or biblical complaint. And I'll even leave a link to a book that I'm reading that I just highly recommend for you, that even builds on this idea much better than this 2-minute video will. So let's look at Psalm 142 and we'll kind of unpack it together for a little bit. Beginning in verse 1, it says this: I cry aloud to the Lord, I lift my voice to the Lord for mercy. I pour out my complaint before him I tell my trouble. And so the idea that I want to bring out today about how suffering clarifies complaint, there's two sort of broad tracks, you might say, about how our complaint is clarified. The first track is the direction of the complaint. And the direction is even kind of two subtracks in itself. Who is it that we're actually complaining to? Are we going to the right person? Are we going to God, or are we going to things in the world or friends or people that will help us somehow get through this, right? So that's the first part. The second part is what is the ultimate core motivation? What's the thing that we hope God will do in response to this? Because that sometimes needs clarification as well. It is not uncommon, and I'm sure you can identify with this, where maybe we've had ailments or difficulties, we've had trouble and hardship our entire life. And so what suffering does is it will force us to deal with the reality of the sovereignty of God and his control over our circumstances. And so it's conceivable that God does not lift certain difficulties and troubles that you and I might be dealing with. And so in that sense, the suffering experiences forces us to clarify that direction of our complaint. What do we really want out of God? What is God teaching me in the midst of this complaint? And then the second sort of track here for our thought today in terms of clarifying the complaint is that it clarifies the substance of the complaint itself. It really forces us to really pin down what exactly is the ache of the heart and the thing that has to come out. Now, there's lots of things that could probably be said here, but just for the sake of the verse here and sticking to the text here, the psalmist we see here is simply voicing to the Lord a plea for mercy, and then he is bringing before the Lord his trouble. And so that's just my encouragement for you today, is to voice your plea for mercy to God. Lay out the actual substance of the trouble before him, and let God do his work in showing you his goodness and mercy. As you read the rest of the chapter there, you'll see that is part of one of the ultimate outcomes that we get from God in the midst of our suffering and difficulty, is further clarification about the goodness and the love and the mercy of God toward us in Christ. So I hope that was helpful. It was it was a lot of meat there in just a couple of minutes. But if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'll be happy to answer any questions as best as I can. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I look forward to connecting with you tomorrow. Until then, talk to you soon. Bye.
Hey, real quickly, thank you so much for visiting. If you want to learn more about CCFS, please visit my website at ccfamilyservices.com. There you'll learn about the mission and vision of CCFS, or you'll find out there's podcasts, articles, and blogs and content that I make available to you in case you're interested in that. If you want to learn more about counseling services, my contact information is there at the bottom of the webpage as well, or maybe you know somebody who may benefit from some counseling, please forward along. Thank you so much for visiting today, and I look forward to connecting with you. Until next time, take care.